purposely invite the rock and roll element into our community?
Well, what's wrong with a little entertainment?
Entertainment is fine, but this... You know, we have lots of big acts that come through here. Ice Capades, Tiny Toons, Kenny G.
Kenny G.
Dr. Bones, Dr. Bones, Dr. Bones.
Good evening, this is Dr. Bones Live for New Music Part 2 with my review with the Gypsy Ghosts. So, before we get to the next song, we're talking a little bit more about the new album because, I just got a chance to hear it. Unfortunately, you guys are not going to get a chance to hear it until it comes out, and I feel bad for you, but, you know, the album is amazing, so you're in for a real treat. So, let's talk about a few of the songs, like the first few songs. I mean, when I first heard it, literally about 10 minutes ago, completely different from Bird Language and the first EP you guys put out. And it's a lot more tight, a lot more solid as musicians, as far as composure and production goes. I'm really impressed by it. So, we talked briefly about it the last part, about some of the songs you have in the back burner that you've reworked for the album, and you've worked on a little bit. Now, some of the newer stuff, how mainly did it come along? Was it already kind of quick and easy, or was it just like...
You know, sometimes the riff can come to you, like I said, and maybe a riff will... Henry will have a riff. Patrick Henry will have a riff. He makes me say that. Don't just say Henry. Anyways, but full name him. Yeah, I just gave him a full name job. But no, that's one of the things. But one of the things is the new stuff is, like I said, so you have a song that was, and it's back burner, but it's not. It's back burner, but it's really front burner the whole time where you're playing it live, and you're growing that song as a band. So you have 6 months, and you have 100 and some odd shows playing that song, and 100 or 200 practices playing that song.
Right.
Right? So you write some new shit, and what's it got to stack up to? The song that you've played 200 times. And the song that you've tweaked and changed and made badass. And now, you want to try to write a new song. And you do, right? And you can still have some of you know what I mean? The loose vibe in writing the new song. But when you present it, it's okay, how's this going to stack up? Right? You know what I mean?
Well, no, that's true, Andy. And the thing is, with you personally, since you do a lot of lyrics, now for you, how has this kind of helped you change and grow? Because I mean, from the first 2 EPs that you put out, I mean, they're really good. But now you've kind of almost put in this one, you can hear more emotion in it, and you're kind of giving you a lot more to it. So, kind of what gave you that kind of inspiration, saying, you know what, no, I love the music I'm playing, but you know what, I'm going to give it my all with this one because this is exactly how I feel. What kind of prompted you to do that?
What? So, like I said, you're trying
Wait, what did you say?
Well, no, you grow with it. You grow with it. You change. It's a different emotion. And like I said, you become something, right? And I'm not into that in any way. And look how big my dick is kind of shit. I'm not saying that. And it's not an ego thing. But things become expected of you, and at the root level, just from your band members, right?
Right.
And I'll quote Pat Henry here, and this is a Pat Henry quote on a real evening, a very real evening. It's, hey, look, you have to be willing to kill for me, and I need to know that you'll kill for me. And if you won't kill for me, I'll kill you. That's a quote from this man's mouth. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of the primary songwriters in this band. So you got that guy in your band. And we're like, you know what I mean?
And
his staff might...
The biggest hippie of the band in general, I know.
He's no hippie. You know what I'm saying? You take a misstep, you got a knife in your fucking throat. So when you have that looming over you, right? You're going to write a good song. And you're not going to present a shitty song. And you're going to try hard to write one. And you're going to try hard to perform it. And play it. And you've had performance. And you've played and this and that. So that's what I mean. You're going to grow. Because they're all there together and you're doing shit together. And the other guys, as the more they know you, the less they're gonna take your bullshit. And the more they know you, the more they are gonna know when you're not giving your all or when you're half-assing or something like that. So there's no, you can't lie. Like you can lie, but they're gonna know.
You know, and
so that's the thing, I think.
That's a good point, Andy, because just a quick connection to that point is before the police officially broke up. This is kind of in tune with what you're saying. Is after a while, putting together what there's going to be, what notes to play, and you're not going to have any issues playing. Well, near the end, not Stuart Copeland, but their bassist, he actually was Stuart Copeland. Obviously, he had a problem with Sting.
They fought like crazy.
That's right, they fought like crazy because they're such creative masterminds, and the last few shows before they kind of finally call it quits, Stuart Copeland actually on his drum because he knew where
fuck off Sting or something like that, or fuck
off Sting and you cunt, because he knew where he knew where Sting was going to stand, so he'd come back and we'd back and forth the drum set, he'd see it, and he knew exactly where Sting was going to stand, so he put it intentionally just to piss him off.
I saw footage of them fighting on a train. And it was funny because they looked like children fighting in a box. But it was quite hilarious. Them rolling around in this train. There's like a guy with a camera swinging at each other. It was like some Buddhist. You are, Sting. You're beating the shit out of your buddy.
A couple months ago, I made a shirt. It was like, fuck you, Pat.
Yeah.
It actually says, fuck you, Henry. I quit. There's the front and back. But... I haven't worn it yet. It's still on my floor.
But stuff like that happens, and a lot of times it is funny. I mean, always the same thing was really funny, and there's been a couple of instances like that where it's been like, the breakup was kind of like brutal. It was kind of funny at the same time, but something like that when I saw that, because it was on a US channel called VH1, and I was actually living in Michigan at the time I saw it, and I was just dying laughing like that's fucking hilarious.
It is funny.
Just, they hate each other so much. I mean, it's not like Roger Waters and excuse me, Dave Gilmour from Pink Floyd, where they split. They had real bad blood, but there wasn't anything initially online that they posted or thing, and it just amazed me that they actually got together for the Live Aid concert and played together for the first time in I think it was 20-something years. But it was kind of, it was good, it was cool, but at the same time it was kind of funny too, because you say Dave Gilmour was just not impressed at all.
No.
At all. He wanted to play a show, but he just kind of pissed me still to play with Roger Waters.
Yeah.
Well, our bad blood. Good blood, bad blood. Anyways, if we ever have any bad blood, you're going to see it afterwards dried on a knife. You know what I mean? Because it's going to end up in murder. There'll be death. And we're going to kill one of each other. And that's it's as simple as that. So,
but that stuff happens. But
we'll take it right up to that point. And that's the songs.
But it helps you grow as a band, though, and that's the biggest thing, right?
It does. When you want to kill somebody you love. And you can still do some shit, and there's tension. In this record, there's tension all over it. Wanted to kill each other. There was a lot of issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of crazy shit people are doing, whether it was drugs or whether it was just shady shit or dishonesty or crazy shit. But hey, man, it shows. It's on the record.
There's a lot of passion.
It's passion.
So, but it's good to see, right? It's good to see people who are passionate, but there's a dispute of any kind, like me and Bruce, if you're listening, Bruce, fuck you.
You're a piece of shit, man!
You didn't pick up the phone earlier? Yeah. You're cooking. You Jew. Oh, no, I love him. But,
we love Jews.
Me and him yell at each other constantly, like, and then we're best friends after, because it's, you're passionate about something, and you want to do, you're creating something, and you want it to be the best that it can possibly be.
Absolutely.
And it's art, right? So it's also subjective, right? And we'll just yell at each other. Like everyone else is silent. Me and Bruce will just scream at each other to the point where, like, I'll tell him I want to headbutt him, and then he'll tell me that he'll yell at me. This happened. You'll lose. I'm Polish.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Polish. And he's just losing it on. But then 5 minutes later, we're best friends. We're hugging it out. Man.
Well, and then
so the work gets done. We yell at each other. The part gets fixed. Whatever it is.
And then we're like the next day, like, God damn, that's a good part.
Yeah, it's forgotten.
Shit, like,
it's just funny.
Here we are.
It's just
and that's the thing is, like, just in general, whether it's band or just like friendship in general, you're gonna hit those snipes and bumps where you just fucking hate each other, and you just want to knock them out, but like not too much longer, like you said, they're your best friends again, and it happens so much. And a quick side note, a woman at work I work with, her son was like friends with a guy who was kind of like bad, we'll say bad news for the most part. So he did something somewhat bad, so he kind of broke apart. I was talking to her the other day, and she's like, well, no, they're kind of getting friends again. It's like, well, you know what, with guys, that's kind of expected, because in high school, wherever it is, you might have a quick fight, but then 20 minutes later, you're having a beer with them.
Well, that's the thing with our band, right? And it's a really band, and the phrase band of brothers. And we're like brothers. And like 1 minute, it's like, fuck this guy, I want to kill him. He's a piece of shit. Right? And we're all like, yeah, fuck that guy, right? That happens. And it's like, you know what I mean? And then the next day, we're hugging each other, and we're like, yeah, bro, like, never without you, right?
Like boys were, I love you, man. No, Terry, I love you. No, man, I love you. And I love you too. No, man, I love you, man.
There's that kind of shit, and I think, luckily, there's some music in between, and then you get to hear, like, so we'll record a jam, or we'll hear some shit, or somebody else will say something, and then we could hear it, and we're like, yeah, that's a bond that keeps together forever. But just that thing. It's like, and a good friend, somebody could be like, you're a piece of shit, I fucking hate you, you know what I mean? Like, Pat and I were also in a death match the other day. Right? It's a true story. I was like, giving him shit, fuck you, like, fuck this band, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happened, and then the next day, it's just like, hey man, what's up? Like,
it's not easy. Like, it's not a cakewalk. The studio's not all fun and games. There's stress, there's sweat, there was blood, there was fire, there was a leaky roof, there was broken doors. Like, you almost got taken out by that door.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a lot of demons in the studio.
But you know what, man? It happens. Like, my brother, years ago, this is it was 10, 12 years ago. This is during the huge ice storm. So went across Ontario, Quebec, the whole horse sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Right. So doing much all the time, and my brother was recording an album, and he had a ska band at the time, right? And their studio was one of the only places that actually had actual power without losing it at all. So they still recorded the album with no problem at all. It was a great album, but like he's like, because we actually went over to his place because like his water heater had a pile of light, so still had power, right? So I go there, shower and shit like that. But he's like, you know what? For some reason, we're one of the only places that actually still have actual power. Because all the rest of Montreal out of power because this outage just spread like literally like almost nationwide. It went from Ontario to Michigan, so between the U.S. and Canada, so we were all pretty screwed up. And I'll never forget that, man, because that was about almost a month without power.
Wow.
So, using the sterno cans, and, you're going to bed, you're like a toque, and you got like 4 or 5 blankets on to keep warm.
Yeah.
But it was messed up, but it was also fun at times too, because a lot of times what we did to pass the time is we played Monopoly.
Oh, nice.
So you're up to like 3, 4 in the morning, and you're making up new rules because you're bored of nothing else to do, right? So you got all these new rules, and and you're at each other's throats, but at the same time too, you're having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you listen to this, Bobby G. He's our sax player. He's soon to be homeless again. He's been a homeless guy for quite a while. and it's been kind of